So friends, what you see here is a record of employment, which is a mandatory document when you are applying for employment insurance. This is the only document through which Service Canada will know how much hours you have worked. That's total insurable earning. Okay, what you see here, how much you have worked, and if you are eligible for the EI payment or not. The record of employment, usually companies nowadays, it's all digital. They send this information to Service Canada, and sometimes you may have to follow up with your company. Make sure you have copy of this record of employment. This will speed up your process when you're applying for your employment insurance, because in the application section, if you watched my previous video, there is a section where it asks if you have the record of employment, where you can skip that process and still submit the application, but then you are left at mercy of your company when they're going to send that information to Service Canada. So to speed up, you can follow up with your company and get the record of employment, a copy of it at your end. Okay. So you see here the serial number, employer's name, and the postal code, address, all these details would be filled by the employer. And then employer's payroll reference number will be there, and their CRA business number will also be mentioned. It will mention how you were getting paid. Was it monthly or bi-weekly? In Canada, mostly it is bi-weekly. So you would see like this, and then it will have your social insurance number. So make sure that there are no errors here. I'm sure you would have checked this before. Then it mentions the first day of working, last day of working, and final pay period. So you see here, when did you start, when did you end, and the final pay ending date, that will again show up here. And it also tells whether the expected date of recall is unknown or not returning. Okay, so if you see this should be. An occupation sometimes remains blank, so do not worry on that part. Then you have your total insurable hours, and this is what will determine if you get EI or not. If you watched my previous video, you would know that you could get up to 55% of your earning, and depending on your province, the maximum you will get is 45 weeks. And there are other factors. Okay, I'll not go into much detail in this. Basically, the unemployment rate of the region dictates how many hours minimum you need to have to be eligible for employment benefit. Okay, so let me show that region-wise. All the link is in the description. You can go and check on your end. So here the province and territory is given, and this shows the unemployment rate. Okay, so this gets updated and is revised from time to time. And to qualify, what is the number of hours you need to have, which is insurable. So you see here, depending on province and territory, it is different. If you're in New Brunswick, you need to have 700 hours. And if you're in Ontario, how many hours you need to have, and what is the maximum duration for which you will get the benefit that is mentioned. Okay, so this is for Ottawa. And if you look at St. Catharines, this is the requirement, and maximum week will be this. So according to the location where you are, this will change. Okay, so this is also important. So here you see total insurable hour is 2140. That means this person would be eligible provided he or she meets all of the criteria. Okay, so that detail is given here, and reason for issuing this ROE, shortage of work, end of contract or season, this typically would be a standard answer from the companies, and then companies contact name and telephone. These details would be there in the record of employment. Now let's go to other part of the section. The 15C will show you the insurable earning, and this is how the total is getting calculated. Okay, what you see, the entries here, the amount what is getting paid to you. And 17 would be filled if there are any other monies which you get during separation. For example, vacation pay, if that is getting paid once you're no longer working, that will be mentioned. There are any severance package, those details would be mentioned here. And that's how the EI would know when your employment insurance has to start. So then if at all there are no comments, don't worry. Okay, go down. Then these are basic detail, communication preference, English, telephone number, the company, and then the issuer's name and date when it was issued. So this is what record of employment is. And in case you get a record of employment which is hand-filled, that is also okay, that is acceptable. Just make sure the entries matches with what you have actually delivered in terms of hour and the pay details. Okay. So once you take care of this, your first step, that is having a correct record of employment, will be done. And after that, it's just a process to apply for EI.